Hey guys, welcome back to the MCU HQ, and it is day 3 of Avengers Week. So Avengers Endgame is out in 2 days, and so today we have one of the most Avengers heavy videos of the week, and that is the Avengers Post-Endgame. What could the team look like, what could the villains look like, and what could the storylines look like? And this is going to be a long one, so without further ado, let's hop straight into it. Okay, so first thing, we'll start with the team. So, first up here, we need a leader for the team. Someone to replace Cap. And when I say leader, I use the term loosely. Because the Avengers, Cap is the leader, but they all have leadership positions. So, who did I pick for that? Obviously Captain Marvel. She's been advertised to be the face of the MCU in the future, and I think she would do well as the leader. And something that's really cool is that because of her character flaws, it then provides other Avengers to help her through things, give them some of the spotlight. So it definitely kind of be a team effort, although I doubt that's where Marvel would go with it. But the possibilities they can do with Carol Danvers as the face of the MCU there's things they can do. And her power set, she's being advertised as the most valuable player on the Avengers, and she's barely in Endgame as far as I can tell. So, but yeah, she can shoot energy blasts. Apparently, she can time travel. She can fly, and an ability that they didn't even show in Captain Marvel that she actually has is the ability to take energy and use it for redistribution. Anyway, moving on. So we're assembling the Trinity here. So Captain Marvel's one member of the Trinity. The next person here is Dr. Stephen Strange. Now, there are some heavy hitters on this list, but Dr. Strange, he has to be here. And it's so cool, because he's got the use of magic, and I don't count Scarlet Witch as magic, but Dr. Strange is the only hero on the Avengers who has used magic. He's got portals, he's got, mirror dimension stuff, so that can really help in Avengers battles. And I don't know what's going to happen with the Time Stone, but he's got the Eye of Agamotto, so he's definitely one of the Avengers' most powerful people, and he's great. Okay, for the last member of the Trinity, we need someone who has a hand in political stuff to get the Avengers out of predicaments, and also has bank. So, obviously, that's going to be Black Panther. Being the King of Wakanda, obviously, he is king, and, he's got a place on the UN, and so he can definitely handle the political aspect of superheroing, and being the king of the country, he also has some serious dinero, so he can hook up other Avengers with what they need. Sure, he can obviously get them gadgets, vibranium tech. There's just endless possibilities that they can do with the power of Black Panther on the team. Really all I want to touch on about Black Panther. Now, number 4, I was thinking of including this character in the Trinity, but I decided not to, and that is Spider-Man. So obviously he's still young, and probably won't be on the team full-time. Maybe they'll call him in as backup if they need him. Maybe he'll do what he did in Infinity War, where he just happens to show up. But Spider-Man is good to have around. His skill set is so unique. A lot of characters on here all have unique skill sets, and his superpowers are sick. So, okay, next up, 2 more bugs who actually have very similar skill sets. That is Ant-Man and the Wasp. Now, the reason I think it'd be good to have both of them instead of just one of them is because, Ant-Man's hilarious, and Wasp is, really intelligent. So, it'd be great to have both of them, and we don't want to lose Paul Rudd. And Wasp can obviously shrink, and Ant-Man can grow. And they can go so small, they can go into places no one else can. One more, and that is Scarlet Witch. Now, I was hesitant to put her on here because both Captain Marvel and Doctor Strange possess a lot of... Well, Captain Marvel doesn't. Doctor Strange and Scarlet Witch possess kind of same abilities, and obviously Captain Marvel, Doctor Strange, and Scarlet Witch are also really strong. But the reason Scarlet Witch is on here as a permanent member of the team is because once X-Men and mutants get introduced, her story can take such a detour, and since she hasn't been a main character in the past, this gives her a chance to really come into the spotlight and be a huge character. Okay, so that covers mainstays of the team. And now we get into the last few I have here. And numbers 8 and 9, I'll cover them together, are Bucky and Falcon. And the reason I have them separate is because obviously they're getting their own show, but I also think they could go out on separate adventures, not join the team right away. Because one of them is going to be Captain America. I'm pretty sure one of them is at least. I think they could be separate. They could do some Hydra tasks. They could maybe come in for a little bit in one of the Avengers movies. But definitely they don't need to be mainstays of the team, considering I think that'd be crowding it, and if Phase 4 is a fresh start, I think we should keep it limited to 6 or 7 permanent members and only bring in backup if needed. And they have their TV show, so they are doing their own story there. Don't know how the TV show is going to go down, but man, am I excited for it. Last one I have here is very broad, but this is any of these surviving original 6 Avengers. Okay, so that wraps up the Avengers Post-Endgame. On the screen right now, I took away all the, what I think would be the temporary members. I did leave Spider-Man up here though, so that would be our team of Avengers. Now moving on, we get villains. Now the one I put on top, the one I want to see the most, is Annihilus. With Annihilus, we get Annihilation. And I'll talk about Annihilation later on when we get to storylines. There's your spoiler alert right now. Annihilation is one of the storylines. Also, Dormammu. We saw him in Doctor Strange show up. I don't think we've seen the last of him. Dormammu was like one of Strange's biggest enemies. I want to see more of him. I definitely think he's coming back. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. You know what? I'm definitely sure he's coming back. Forget hoping. He's definitely coming back. Okay, next up here we have Zemo. Now Zemo was one of the people who was one of the villains who survived. He made it out of Civil War. He's in prison now. And what's cool is with Zemo, it would provide story for both Bucky and Falcon. If they could do Hydra stuff, Zemo can be the main villain. And we might be able to get his comic-accurate outfit. Now, the last 2 I've talked about in tandem, and we'll definitely get to them more as we go on. But that is Kree and Skrulls. Obviously, these are going to come up more in Captain Marvel, but there are so many storylines involving Kree and Skrulls that there's no way the MCU just ditches them after a couple movies. On that note, let's hop into storylines. Right up top, we have Annihilation. Now, what's cool about Annihilation is it involves both the Kree and the Skrulls. Because in Annihilation, my dogs are barking. Annihilus had assembled this massive space force. He had destroyed the Kiln, which was that prison that we saw in Guardians of the Galaxy. And I'm going to read it, destroyed nearly all of the mighty Skrull and Kree empires, and even captured the Silver Surfer and Galactus. And so, this could be Phase 5 or 6 down the line when the X-Men are here, and Fantastic Four, and we have both Silver Surfer and Galactus, so that'd be nice there. And again, it involves both Kree and Skrull, so it's something that was, teasing Captain Marvel, is this is a thing that can happen, and all the characters that will be back in Marvel, so we can get Annihilation in its full glory. There's so much they could do with that story. Nova's here, I'm starting to get chills just thinking about it, even though it's not happening. Remember when everyone thought Endgame was called Annihilation? I was the only one who knew. Anyway, okay, so next up, the next storyline I decided on was Civil War II. But done right, because I know what you're thinking. Civil War II shocked. Yes, it did. But Civil War II, and if they do it right, it could work. Maybe bring in the Russos. Hopefully it happens after Secret War, because they said they're done until Secret Wars. Now, Civil War II, the only challenge is it's Iron Man and Captain Marvel, and I'm going on a limb saying Iron Man's not coming back. So we could have a different person going against Carol, like Doctor Strange. Maybe that might be fun, and change the story of it and don't make the character motivations as stupid as they are, and then we can have Civil War II. Because we had one Civil War movie. They could make a second one. And just like how Infinity War probably wouldn't have gone down that way if Civil War hadn't happened, whatever the giant thing they're leading up to might go differently if Civil War II hadn't happened. So they might want to do Civil War II. They just have to avoid repetition. But it's definitely something I think, if done right, could work out well. I'm not going to split the characters up into teams, though, so I hope you're not expecting that. Okay, our next ones both start with Secret. You guys probably already know what they are. Okay, Secret Invasion, number one, the one I want the most. We have Skrulls in charge. They've taken over Heroes now. You're probably thinking, but Captain Marvel ruined that because the Skrulls are the good guys. Well, yes and no. The thing is, yeah, sure, the Skrulls were good, but you have to think that was just Talos' little faction. There are Skrulls all over the place. Skrulls could have other Skrull factions, could have inhabited people. Maybe Talos is trying to prevent this, maybe trying to figure out what the Skrulls are. He'd be a helpful person to bring in and point out which Skrulls are the enemies or not. And there's just so many different ways they go with Secret Invasion. It would have so many jaw-dropping moments that it would be really hard to transfer to a film, but it would also be amazing if done right. And again, these are things Captain Marvel set up that we will see pay off eventually. Now, last one here, again, starting with Secret, is the Secret Wars. So obviously Secret Wars, it talks about universes colliding, which I don't think the MCU is going to acknowledge really the existence of a multiverse at all, except Doctor Strange. He was flying through alternate realities. Maybe the multiverse, what they could do, have, but I don't know. So, but Secret Wars, definitely something I feel is going to happen eventually because the Russos have said they're done till Secret Wars. I feel like they teased it a bit there, and it's kind of hard to figure out what direction they would go with this. And it involves, again, X-Men and Fantastic Four. So, another thing that we can do once Marvel has all their characters back. I have gotten so comfortable on this stool. I'm going to fix that right now. So again, it's something that might not go so well. Civil War II, Secret Wars, Secret Invasion are all things that could go wrong. But you know what would make Secret Wars great is bringing in a pair of directors who are great at directing team-up films. It's like, oh god, man, just think about how great Secret Wars would be if we just had a pair of directors who were great when it comes to something like that. God, that would be amazing, wouldn't it? But anyway, guys, that's it. That's all I have for team villains and storylines that the MCU could go for after Avengers Endgame and after Phase 3 ends. So what did you think? Put your thoughts down in the comments below. Also leave a like on this video, subscribe, click on the bell icon to receive all notifications from the MCU HQ. That's going to be it. Have a great day, guys.